We were saying before that why would somebody who's perfect want to get married? Doesn't marriage diminish you, restrict you, humble you? It does. Like it did to him. In order for him to have us and to have the mitzvahs performed by us, he had to have a tzimtzum, restrict his own expression. He had to hide his face, hester panim. He had to send the neshama down from the highest place to the lowest place. He had to create a Yetzer Hara. He hates all of that. He doesn't want it. He doesn't want to send the neshama into a miserable world. He doesn't want to create sin. He doesn't want to create a Yetzer Hara. He doesn't want to hide himself. It's against his will. So why does he do it?
It's the only way he can have us.
In other words, to achieve his purpose, he will even do things he doesn't want, that don't please him. Yeah? So now, this purpose that he is trying to achieve, what should we call that? His will? Mitzvahs and Jews are his will. But they override his will, because he really doesn't want any of this.
So what?
So we're saying his purpose overrules his will.
Oh, you mean like that's why he had to make possibility for sin?
So if his will is overruled by his purpose, shouldn't his purpose be a need, not just another will? So when people say, why can't you just say he wants? Because if he just wants, it wouldn't override what he doesn't want. He wants you to do a mitzvah and not to do a sin. But he also doesn't even want sin to exist. Yeah, but he wants this more than he wants that. That sounds funny. His will is what it is. Then there's his purpose that has to be. So you call it a need, not another will. Which will explain something else. When the martyrs were being killed by the Romans, the angels came and cried. And God said, be quiet, or I'll turn the world back into mush. Now, what kind of an answer is that? God doesn't owe us an answer. If he doesn't want to answer, he doesn't have to answer. If there's no explanation for why the righteous suffer, okay, there's no explanation. But threatening, bullying, be quiet or I'll turn you into mush? And every year when we daven, and we read that story on Yom Kippur, it always strikes me like, whoa, a little added character, don't you think? That's how God talks. The meaning of it is this. Angels are crying because Jews are suffering. So they come to God, and they say, isn't this terrible? And God says, you think it's terrible, and you're just an angel. You didn't create them, they're not your children, and you think it's terrible. So imagine what I think. So then you're going to say, so stop it. If it bothers you so much more than it bothers us, then stop it. So God says, you mean turn the world back to mush? You can't do that. Because the purpose for which he created the world has to happen.
It overrules what everyone else feels.
Well, it overrules what he feels.
It just is so nonsensical.
Hmm? It's like a king who sends his soldiers to war. He wants them to go to war. He wants them to get shot. No. But what's the alternative? To let the whole country be overrun? So he's doing something that he does not want to do. But the purpose is so important that he has to put his will aside and do what has to be done. So again, when we say he doesn't want this, but the purpose that he's going to achieve, it overrules it. So if it overrules his own want, doesn't that make it a real need? So when people say, why do you have to call it a need? Just say he wants it very, very much. It doesn't explain why he wants this so much that he cancels his other will. This is what he wants, this is what he wants. How does that happen that one wins over the other?